Can everyone see my screen? I have a few slides handy. Can everyone see that?
Good on my side, Harish.
Okay, good. So Cameron, did you also make it? Is Cameron also on? Or
Yes, I'm on.
I can thanks for joining, and hopefully Tara also made it. So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Again, we appreciate everyone's time. Hope everybody is staying safe and healthy wherever you are. These are a few slides we put together to just give you everyone an overview how payments will work in Arrive Next, which we are going to launch sometime this week. So I want to start by thanking the entire community for such a positive feedback. I spoke to at least a couple of dozen broker colleagues on how fee should work, given this is such a massive project, but and we got overwhelming support. So we again appreciate all your excitement and support on this. So again, reiterating, Arrive Next is a turnkey solution which combines a point of sale, a loan origination platform, as well as a pricing engine, and it will keep improving as we move along. So there are a lot of features we're going to add this year, next year. So again, it's a massive undertaking, and we are super excited about this. There is nothing else, in our opinion, in the market which kind of competes at our scale. So we're going to dominate together. So we have a roadmap. We'll set up a separate call maybe sometime next week. This is still under iteration, but this gives you an idea. Like we'll be improving the loan origination platform, the pricing engine, as well as the consumer point of sale as we move along. There is a lot of development planned for at least next 12 months, and we'll set up a separate session with the broker community to review this in more detail. So I'm going to kind of skip on this and get to payments. And if there are any questions, anyone has anything, feel free to put it on the chat window. We'll take them as we get them or towards the end. So I'm happy to stop and explain this or take them towards the end. But this is the main slide or main chart I wanted to review with everyone today. So based on our community feedback, we came up with a model of a regular user. Regular user means you are really using the system, all the features on a day-to-day basis. And then, we got this feedback. I have a loan officer, he's new, or I have loan officers who do 1 loan, 2 loan, 3 loans here and there. So how can you help us? So we came up with the concept of occasional user. That means you have full access to the platform, but you are using this occasionally. So again, we listened to your feedback and we came up with this concept, which is probably the first in the industry. With KLX and LendingPad, you don't have these concepts of regular users and occasional users. But again, based on your feedback, we said if you are getting full value from the platform, here is the fees. If you're using the platform here and there, if you're a new loan officer, you pay a much reduced fee. These fees are user-based and billed monthly. I'm going to show you a quick demo how the payment experience will look like inside the app. And again, you can sign up on the monthly plan if you're not sure. You can go annual if you're confident. You can start as occasional and then upgrade to regular. So we give you all possibilities so you're comfortable before you commit to the platform. So another change we did last month, which actually led to delaying launching payments, is all support users for now are considered occasional users. So if you have a processor, a loan officer assistant, an admin, it does not matter how many loans they participate in. For at least next 6 months to a year, we'll consider them as occasional users. Again, all your support users, all your processors and assistants will be considered as occasional users. So in terms of features, the regular users get access to all core features. I'll explain in the next slide what does core mean, but any feature we release which is generally available will be available for unlimited use to regular users, which includes loan applications, pricing requests. For occasional users, we have set some fair use guidelines. So if you're doing more than 2 loans a month, or if you're doing more than 10 pricing requests a month, we will consider you upgrade to regular user. Again, these are not hard limits. So if you're doing 3 loans 1 month, 4 loans 1 month, we'll just give you a warning, if you will, so that you are under entitlements. But again, these are soft limits. We'll not automatically upgrade you or anything. It is up to your discretion. When do you think you are getting best value from the platform? It is then we would request you upgrade. So again, all this is new. We are the first in the industry to come up with this model and launch this month. We are very excited about this, and hopefully, all this works out as we launch payments. Another major feedback we got from the community is having the concept of companies sponsoring the users or users paying on their own. So we have many large brokerages like C2 Financials in particular, where they wanted the users to decide whether they want to pay for the service or not. So again, this is available to every broker company. So the broker owner can come in and designate, am I sponsoring all the users? That means I'm paying for them. Or he can actually indicate if certain users are self-paid. That means the company admin will not pay for the self-paid users, but the self-paid users would enter the payment information directly. And I'm going to do a quick demo of this towards the end. But again, these are new frontiers. We kind of built all this based on all the great feedback we got. So we are giving you options. The company admin can sponsor LOs, or he can indicate which LOs are self-paid, all LOs are self-paid, or processors and assistants, and then they can come in and enter their payment information themselves. In terms of some of the FAQs, we did get quite a bit of good questions. So first, there will be no service interruptions. Services will continue to run till we launch these billing pages, billing web pages inside the application. And the target is Wednesday of this week. Again, we have been testing this thoroughly to make sure it works flawlessly when we launch it. And the way this is going to work is, once we enable billing, I'm going to show you a demo. You will be given a small reminder like, hey, ARIVE Next has a fee tied to it. Why don't you go and make your payment? Again, this will be a polite reminder. There'll be no service interruptions. You can continue to use the platform as is. But we would appreciate, if you take action as soon as this is launched. Again, the seats concept only applies to active users. So if you have inactive users or users you have deleted, they're not billed. So the seats will only apply to active users on the platform for your organization. I think I mentioned this earlier. So individual users can be set to pay themselves, or self-paid as we call it, or company can sponsor their seats. So we give this option to the broker owner to set it as the user is paying or I'm paying for him. Monthly plans can be upgraded to annual anytime. And if there is any credit left on your monthly plan, we will apply it toward your annual plan, but not the other way around. We would really, really appreciate if you guys take some time before you make a decision. If you are on a monthly plan, you can go to annual, but going the other way around is really hard. We work with a third-party processing or a payment company. So we have to work with them to figure out how to cancel the subscription. So at this point, we would really appreciate you think before you make a decision. You can take your time, maybe a week. So again, the system will remind you politely. There are no hard cutoff, or service will not be disabled. And monthly plans can be changed anytime. You can go from occasional to regular, regular to occasional anytime you want. Again, we would request you exercise caution. Once you are on an annual plan, making a change is a little complex on our side. We did announce this when we launched payments. Like we are giving, it took us a while to figure out how to do this, but all new brokers will get 1 month free trial. So again, we spent a lot of time trying to make sure we respect what we said early on. So this is based on a brokerage. So if your brokerage was created less than a month ago, all users in that brokerage are eligible for a 1 month free trial. And if somebody wants to get a free month, please contact support. We can figure out how to do that on our end. So we want you to be comfortable with the platform. Make sure it works for your needs, and then commit to making any payments. I talked about optional features. So we will be releasing certain features in coming months. For example, disclosure generation, or maybe e-sign, where we'll be working with third parties. So in those cases, there will be additional fees, which you should be prepared for. We are still working with several third parties to figure out what can we best negotiate on our broker's behalf. But if we release some optional features in the future, you should be prepared. There will be an additional fee, and it will be a pass-through fee. Will not keep any markup or anything. Whatever those third parties charge us, that will be the fee which is applied to the broker's account. Again, these will be optional features. They will not limit you from accessing any core platform features, but just wanted to make sure everyone is aware of that. So with that, I'm going to probably go to a quick demo of how pricing will work. Cameron, Scott, are there any questions at this point that we should take before I go into an actual demonstration?
There is one question that I think you'll eventually get to, but just kind of keep in mind to eventually highlight, is there a way to view our current usage?
Yes.
So and that's part of the demonstration, which we will.
Yep, that's a great question. Again, we are trying our level best to give you visibility into what you're paying for. So yes, we will tell you from a usage perspective on the user screen, as Cameron mentioned. So I'm going to log out. So this is a test account. This is a test system, but the real production when this goes live would appear similar. So can everyone see? I have a browser open. Can you see this? So
Your screen here.
I have ARIVE Next test system open. Cameron, Scott, can you see that?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay, good. So again, imagine this is a company admin or a regular user logging in. This is a test account. It has no loans or anything. So, but you see there'll be a small warning on top. And again, we'll change the message before we launch. This is just done for testing purposes. So what we are going to do is we are going to analyze your account and make a recommendation, like based on how you have used the platform. This is what we believe you should be signing up for. Again, it's your discretion. We'll just try to make recommendations, but the system believes based on this account, you should have 2 regular and 1 occasional seats. And then there'll be a buy link or a purchase link in the platform. This should go live sometime this week, like Wednesday is what we are planning. And then we are suggesting, okay, you have 2 regular loan officers. So you buy 2 seats and probably there is a processor or assistant. That's why the system is recommending an occasional seat. So I can bump it up, I can bump it down. It is showing you annual billing. I can do monthly, I can do annual. It's up to you. So again, we request you analyze what you need based on your business and buy as many licenses. So I'm going to just pick up whatever he was recommending, 2 regular, 1 occasional, proceed to payment. This is where you put in your credit card, and we work with PayPal, which is a very secure credit card processing company to process cards. So I'm going to pick up a credit card right here. It doesn't matter. This is a test card, so I can put whatever I want. But with the real cards, we do check it has not expired, the names are correct, the CVV matches, all that. So again, you'll be taken to a review screen. This is where we tell you, okay, you are buying 2 users for 12 months. This is the cost. You're buying 1 occasional user for 12 months at this much price. This is the cost. This is the total amount. This is how you're going to pay. And then we'll ask you to maybe make sure you are sure before you confirm payment. And this is what I was suggesting. Please, review carefully before you make this commitment. It is extremely expensive, costly for us to do any rollbacks here. So again, from here, you can go and change back. If it looks high, you want to go monthly, I can toggle this to monthly. I can repeat the same thing, proceed to payment. You see my monthly total drop down significantly. So you can take some time, go through this and try to see how this works. And the way the system is analyzing it is looking at your usage. So if I go to my users list here, so it is looking at how many users you have, and based on that, it is coming up with a recommendation. So you see, I have 2 loan officers, and I have 1 occasional user who is an assistant. And then I have a processor. It could be a contract processor or anyone. And I've set this to self-paid. That means this user is responsible for his own payments. So again, from a user management, this is where we'll give you some idea of what the usage is, how many active loans, all that is going on, what kind of license or a seat, if I were to use that term, what seat is assigned to this user. And you can go ahead and make this change anytime. So from here, we'll let you change it. Again, if you're on an annual plan, there is no going back, if you will. But on monthly plans, you can make these changes anytime. So let's go back and make the purchase. So there is billing and there is users. So you buy seats and assign seats to users. That way we keep them independent. You can add more users anytime if you have seats available, and you can buy seats, whenever you want. So I'm going to go back to monthly subscription, stick with what the system was recommending, proceed to payment. I'm going to pick another card here. Let's pick any month, doesn't matter. Put whatever I want. And then I'm going to say, yes, I'm sure, I think this works for me, for my business, and I'm going to confirm payment. So at this time, the system is actually going to a payment processor, and it'll hit the payment. This was the brokerages that I just created. So we will put you on a trial plan. If your broker has been using the system for more than 30 days, the system will charge your card immediately. Again, this goes back to the announcement that we did. So if your brokerage is new and you have not used the system for 30 days, you are not billed for first 30 days. But if I'm an existing user brokerage, have been using the system for a while, so this will hit your credit card immediately. So I'm going to show you an existing brokerage also in a minute. So with this, I have the right seats, that message went away. The warning which was showing coming up goes away. And then I can go back and I see I have licenses for these users. And if I want, I can go in again, toggle this. I can have a user company paid or self-paid anytime do I want. So if you move a company paid user to self-paid, it will free up a seat. But again, our suggestion is, just analyze how your business works. Make sure, you know how many licenses you want, which ones you're going to sponsor, which one the users are going to pay, and then make a decision on buying seats and assigning them to users. And the way the system will work is, assuming you have bought seats when you are adding a new user. So when I say, let's say I'm trying to add a new user, let's see. So this is when the system will ask you to put in a seat license. So if I'm setting up a new user at a company level, the moment I say loan officer, the system will prompt you, are you sponsoring this loan officer, or he's on his own from a subscription perspective or license perspective? And then I can toggle this anytime. As I said, loan officers typically are defaulted to regular users, but if you believe you have a loan officer who will do low volume, or he's a new loan officer just checking out the system, you are welcome to mark this as occasional. Again, if we have seats available, we'll warn you, but will not stop you. You can still add the user even if no licenses are available, no seats are available. It is all, we want you guys to be successful, use the platform, pay only if you believe this gives you value. So that's why we'll let you add users even if you don't have any seats. So I can set up this loan officer as occasional, set him in. The invite flow will be pretty much as it is. So the user will get okay, I need to enter the NMLS for the loan officer. So again, this is, as you are adding more users, you can make a decision. Are you sponsoring them? What kind of seat license, or what kind of a seat is required? And then as the user joins your company, that seat will get assigned to him automatically. So we spend a lot of time and energy making sure this works for our community. But again, if you run into any troubles, if you have any questions, feel free to contact support at arrive.com. Our amazing team is available 24/7 to help you with any questions. So.
All right, Harish, we do have a few questions, mostly on like just proration and things like that. So the first question we have here, if we engage an annual subscription and a LO part ways, is the remaining months on that license transferred to a new hire, refunded? Basically, like, how do we hire, or how are we going to plan to handle those scenarios where the ultimate pool of usage gets lowered within the broker?
That's an excellent question. I appreciate whoever asked this.
That was from Donald Blumenstein.
Okay, good. So we have been thinking very hard about this. This is exactly the reason we separated seats from users. So you buy seats and assign them to users. So if a user leaves, you have a free seat. You can assign this to any user. if that makes any sense. So let's say I bought 6 seats and I had 6 users. Somebody leaves, a new person comes in. You're welcome to reassign that seat to a new user. So I hope that answers that question. This was exactly the reason we kind of split. You buy seats and you assign to users. Now, as an example, let's say you bought 6 annual seats and one person left. So you will have a free seat available to you, which you can assign to anyone. But since you bought an annual plan, there are no refunds. We cannot pay you back whatever is left, since your card will be charged for annual. However, you are welcome to assign this to any user, new which replaces him. So that's how it is set up as of now. So. And again, we did our level best to make sure we can address all questions, concerns you guys have, and it works for you. How can we save you money? So this was the reason we spent all this time splitting seats from actual users. So as users come and go, you can move seats around between them. But great question, thank you.
We have another question here from Juan Torres. His question is, what if I pay annually and decide I do not like it as it does not meet my expectations? Will I get a prorated reimbursement?
Yes, for actual plans. Yeah, go ahead, Cameron.
I mean, like for this one, if like our suggestion though is like if you are sort of on the fence and not certain about whether or not you actually want to utilize the system, then definitely take advantage of the monthly subscription, because with that one you can really kind of dip at any point. But Harish, as far as any sort of prorated reimbursement for canceling a annual subscription, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, that's correct. So the annual plans cannot be canceled. There is no refund. There is no cancellation, and it'll prompt you when you pay. It'll tell you a message like, are you sure? There are all sales are non-refundable. So I just want to make sure before you make a commitment, you have that in mind. So if you buy an annual plan, you have to live by the time till the annual plan expires. So, I mean, if there are exceptional circumstances in your brokerage, please contact support@arrive.com. We'll try to, again, see what we can do. If there are some exceptions, there is a hardship. So again, we want to make this successful and make sure you guys are all successful. But by principle, as Cameron mentioned, take advantage of our, you can set up someone as an occasional user. Again, we're not going to come after you if you exceed the limits for several months. So if you consistently exceed the limits every month for 3, 4, 5 months, yes, we'll probably ask you to reconsider. So yeah, take advantage of occasional plans, take advantage of monthly plans, but only purchase annual if you're sure of the platform. So that it works for what you're trying to do. We are fully committed. We'll be investing heavily, as I mentioned. There are a ton of features coming. This is the early bird pricing, if you will. Next year pricing, once the platform gets more mature, will change for sure. It's pretty common for software companies. As their product matures, the pricing goes up. But yeah, this is the early bird pricing for all our committed community, and hopefully you guys can take advantage of this. Go ahead, Cameron.
Yep, we got another question here. Can you have some users on annual plan and some users on monthly, all in the same? You cannot currently, but if you do want to do something like that, we really suggest that you just convert those ones that should be on monthly to a self-paid plan, and work with that individual to get their payment right. Like it could be set up through, they could use the same sort of corporate card, for example. So if you want to do something like that, you can utilize the self-paid mechanism that we have in here. But if you're going company paid for anybody, it's basically an all or nothing in regards to monthly versus annual subscriptions.
And that's a great question. I think this is another thing Cam brought up. So one of the things we are trying to figure out exactly what you said, like how can we give you flexibility? So you can put some users on a self-paid plan. On the self-paid plans, they can go monthly, they can annual. That's a decision they have. But since we are subscribing a business, this is how payments work. And we learned the hard way over last month. We were developing this. So the company signs up for the plan, and all the sponsored LOs and processors, they're on the same plan, either monthly or annual. But then you can put specific individuals on a self-paid plan. If they use the company card, they're not going to check. This is your discretion, like Cameron mentioned. So, but yes, you can have individual users go on different plans, because once somebody is self-paid, he's paying for himself. So your company can be on the annual plan, but the individual can be on a month-to-month plan. That is absolutely allowed. We are trying very hard to make sure you guys get maximum flexibility. Nobody else has done this. I looked at so many products over last month or two. So we're the first one to charter on, all these uncharted territories, as we call it. So, but we're trying to make your life easy and simple. So you only pay when you believe the platform gives you value. But go ahead, Cam. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have a few more here. One from Clint Edwards. If an occasional user is paid for a year and they exceed the usage limits, will they be prorated for the remaining part of the year for a full seat? And I believe the answer is yes. Basically, whenever you switch them to be that,
Yes. So yeah, I mean,
okay, the regular user, then they'll be prorated for the difference.
yeah, so I'm going to just make a general statement. So the idea is to how can we help you save you money? So if there's an opportunity to give you credit back, money back, we'll do that. So that's a, if you have paid something, you are switching and it's extra. So we'll give you whatever, money you have paid back, which was not used. So that is in general the principle. That's why we did all this work of occasional tiers and self-paid and company paid. So that's the whole objective. Like how can we, make your life so you can try this out before you make an actual commitment. So this is an example of a company which has been around for a long time. So in this case, did I log into the right user? Probably no. Oh, so it is telling me my subscription was updated and I'm on a monthly plan. But yeah, so if there are some credits, we'll give it back if required. So the system will try to make sure, where possible, we give you back. So there are no refunds because again, we work with a payment processing company that charges us a pretty hefty fee for every transaction, and we absorb that fee. You guys don't see that. But yes, if you are using, you're upgrading, there is some money which you have paid, we'll make sure we give you a credit for that. So go ahead, Cam. Any other questions?
Yeah, there's just a couple more here, really. So one question here is, does one person broker owner subscribe as a company or self-paid? So that can be decided at the individual user level if you want to do self-paid, but ultimately it's just kind of an allotment of seats. So if that individual for the broker owner is a company admin, then the user that is, kind of configuring everything can determine whether that person's just included under the company group or they're self-paid.
Yep. We believe, so maybe two things I'll try to split. So if there is a broker owner who is the only user of the platform, you can make yourself self-paid. We'll make a recommendation, but you can say, hey, I'm the broker owner, only user. You can go on an occasional plan. You can go on a self-paid plan. But since you are a single person, we don't see any value since you are paying for yourself. So unless
the recommendation there is if you're just kind of a one-man shop, just under the assumption that eventually you will expand, you probably just set it up as company paid, right? And then if you need to add more people, you can always set those additional users as self-paid in the future if you want to do that, or you can roll them. So I think just setting up yourself as company paid initially will give you a little more flexibility kind of going forward.
Yep, that's perfect, Cam. Any other?
There is a question. There's another question here for, please confirm the data will stay within the company even after a LO leaves and the account is canceled.
Yeah, go ahead. So
no, you go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think that's a general philosophy, and so nothing changes on the platform. Whatever features, how data access, who can see what. So yes, you are the company owner. If they are your employees, you kind of own that data, if you will. So if so yes, the data remains in the company at this point. Again, there have been some questions from our users if they are self-paid, and if they leave, what happens since they paid for the subscription. So as of now, we are not changing the system behavior, but as we evolve, we'll come up with a better model. So if somebody is paying on their own, how can we give them access? A lot really depends on what kind of contract he has signed with the company, like what kind of agreement exists. And we are not really getting into whether it's a 1099 or a W-2 employee. So a lot would be governed by the type of contract that exists between the loan officer and your business. So that's what we generally recommend. It depends on what agreements you have in place, not based on the system. So an LO can obviously export his data, as you guys might know today. So running reports. So whether he can take this data with him, that's totally up to what the contract exists. Our system will not release this data to anyone who's inactive in the platform. So but go ahead, Cam. Anything else we can help clarify? Are there other questions?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. There is one last question here. I am the admin at my company. When will I see your recommendations? So I believe the question is, when is this expected to go live?
Yes. So go ahead. So
I believe we're targeting Wednesday. Is that correct?
That's correct. We have been furiously at work. So yes, we are hoping this will go live in Wednesday. So come Wednesday, when you log in, Wednesday sometime morning, you will see this message, and then you can go in and take action based on this. So it is just going to be a warning. The system will not go down. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes for a week, and then we'll make it mandatory. But we are hoping all our active users will either decide. Hopefully, everybody will decide to sign up. So yeah, sometime this week, like Wednesday, you should see this message, and you can go ahead and it'll ding you every time when you log in. So.
Thanks, Harish. And that's currently it. There's no other questions at the moment.
And we are also on time. Again, as I said, we have done our level best to make sure this works for everyone. If we have an opportunity to save you money, believe me, we have tried to do that. So ARIVE Next is a massive undertaking at this point, to make this viable and keep the innovations coming. We really appreciate everybody's commitment and support for the platform. So again, if somebody has any questions, you can reach out to me directly if there are any questions or concerns. I think my contact information might be.
A couple more questions came in. Is the only difference between, okay, so asking for clarification on the difference between regular and occasional. Really, you can kind of think of it like this. If they're a loan officer, then if they are maintaining more than 2 active loans, kind of on a monthly basis, then they are a regular user. Anything 2 or less, then they're occasional for the loan officer, and then anybody outside of the loan officer role is bucketed into the occasional user category.
And you'll see this everywhere inside, like we kind of remind you what is this when you're setting up users, adding licenses. So we do remind you about what we call them entitlements for seats, like what you're authorized to use. Again, for initial several months, these are soft limits. So as I mentioned, if you do 3 loans, 4 loans, but we would request for you guys, if you are getting value from the platform, get to the right level. So.
And then there's one last request here to see the pricing breakdown slide, again, if that's possible.
Yeah, pricing breakdown slide, if that was the slide. Was this the slide thing?
Yep.
Yep. So, and we made an announcement to all active users. The slide is in there. We'll be updating our support website also before we launch. So this chart will be available there as well. So the regular user gets access to full platform, including all updates. And believe me, we have a lot of updates coming on the core side. And then we have this idea of occasional user, where they also get access to the full platform, but we are limiting the number of loan apps and pricing requests for a loan officer. And at least for now, the support users by default will be considered occasional users. So any new loan officer, low volume loan officer, somebody gives you loan here and there, you can throw them as an occasional user. This actually came from one of our large volume customers who came up with this request, like, I have people who give me loan here, there, so how can I not pay for the full license or a full seat? So but we are here to support you. You have any questions, as I said, if there are some exceptional situations, feel free to reach out on a case-by-case basis. We are happy to help and make sure you are successful in becoming bigger, better, doing more loans, if you will. So any last questions, Cam? Otherwise,
Yeah, we have a couple more here that one of them I'm typing out real quick. And another follow-up from Juan Torres. At what point will we be able to run credit from ARIVE and have the borrower pay for their credit report via ARIVE? So one, I guess sort of two parts. One, I want to make sure that you're actually able to run credit through your credit vendor. The other part is sort of kind of related but sort of separate, is the request to add some sort of interface for collecting payments from a borrower via like the POS. The former, right? I just kind of like, if you can type out who your, or we can look up your credit vendor just to triple check to make sure that you're actually able to run credit through ARIVE. We do have a support article on this currently supported credit vendors. And we actively are actually working on adding a few more. But as far as collecting payments from the borrower for that, I believe there's a couple little bit of, I think, Harish, there's some like compliance things that are around that are kind of like we need to do more research for. But we've definitely gotten that request.
Yep. So I think it's a good question. I think he's from Go to Mortgage, if my memory serves me right. Yeah. So there's a request that can we collect credit card from the borrower. At this point, we suggest you go to your CRA vendor, and if they let you do that, do it, and then you can import credit. That's the way where you can charge the borrower directly. So there is something which has come up. It's not in an immediate roadmap. I would say sometime maybe after Q1, and we'll go through our roadmap maybe sometime in next few weeks once it's a little more formal. So you can go to your CRS website, pull credit. If they let you put the credit card in, use that, and then you can import this into ARIVE using the credit import feature. So that's our suggestion at this point. But again, this is a fair request, and maybe sometime next year we'll get to it. There is some more, as I said, research required. How do we pass the bits securely? Since we are collecting credit card, then we have all this PCI compliance, and so it adds a lot of complexity to us, which we cannot kind of take on at this point. So.
Right. That looks like it's it for now. I think we're good to go. Again, kind of keep an eye out for, we'll probably also announce when this functionality goes live, but you'll definitely see it once it is available in the system.
All right. Thank you so much. We really appreciate everybody's time today. Thank you, and have a rest of your day and week. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah. Bye.